Start this vlog, but the light, oh, I'm trying to tear the hole of my curtain, is too much. Better, much better. Hello, and welcome to a new reading vlog. Today is the 6th of January, and we have a Patreon for that readathon so for today and tomorrow. The readathon theme is 2023 and it is basically just to look forward, not look back on all the goals and stuff we didn't do in 2023, but looking forward to 2024 and do new things and read new stuff, like new releases, new authors, new books you bought, all the new stuff. We're restarting, we are celebrating the new year since it's literally right after the new year, and just reading fun stuff. I also have a year-long bingo challenge. The readathon and the bingo challenge is for all tiers, by the way, where I will drop 2 prompts for the bingo every month, and I try to match, at least for this month when we have a readathon, the prompts in the bingo board to our readathon. So this is kind of spoiler for the bingo board, but I kind of need to talk about it because I'm also completing that while simultaneously doing this readathon. I'm using the readathon to complete the bingo board, kind of. So the 2 challenges, I will try to at least complete those. I think I'm aiming for 5 or 6 books. I meant 4 or 5 books, not 5 or 6. The first prompt is to read the newest book you bought or the newest book you received, got. Obviously, if really the newest one you don't want to read, but like one of the newest ones you got. And the newest one I got in my house that I received yesterday was Opening by Brandon Sanderson, but I'm not going to read that because it's like the 3rd one in the series. I'm currently rereading number 1, so I don't want to reread number 3, logic. So the one I got before that I didn't even receive it, I took it for work, but it's my newest one, is Forgotten on a Sunday by Valerie Perrin. This one is the same author as Water for Flowers, which is a French author who wrote the book, and it was translated to Norwegian and it like took Norway by storm. Everyone loves it. I read it and really enjoyed it. She also have another one called Tree, like Tree People, and I haven't still not read that. I have it and I got it last year and I still have not read it. This is an older release by her. I think it was released in 2015, but now it is like I think the release date was yesterday in Norway. And I took this from work together with another one, but I took this after the other one, which was a manga. I didn't take the manga from work, by the way. I just bought it that day, and then later at work I took this one. So this is actually the latest one that I got received in my house. Even though I didn't buy it, it's the one that I got the latest. So I think I'm gonna start out with this one. It is a bit short, so I think it's perfect for a readathon. It's like less than 300 pages or around 300 pages. I have no idea about the plot, but I really enjoyed her first book, and I feel it's really relevant to readers as well because of work. People can talk about it, so then it's easier for me to talk about it as well because like she's a huge author now in Norway. So yeah, I'm gonna let you know what I think about it. Sprints start in 4 minutes, so I need to set up the stuff, and then I'll let you know how the reading goes. Yay! Okay, first for this soon done. I have only read actually like 108 pages. It's going very slowly, but I'm very much enjoying myself. It is about this young girl called Christine who works in an elder's home, and then she reflects upon like her parents and her cousin's parents, like they were siblings, died in a car accident. So she grown up with grandparents who is really distant, and then she's working this elder home, and the cousin is like, are you going to waste your life here? Which is weird to say, but he wants her to move out of this small town. And then she's also interviewing this old lady called Helena, who is talking about her life and how she was in love with this dude. I think she was in love with him. Was he in love with her? I don't know. The dude's family had a history of going blind, and then I don't know if he actually went blind or not, but so far he's not. And then she just lived this life with this dude, and then she's talking about that, and then we obviously get other interactions with the people that are in the other home, and then as well there is these mysterious phone calls that is going out to families saying that the family member died, and then it turns out to be a lie. No one knows who's making these phone calls, but it makes the family like remember the old people living there again. But these are people that usually the family has stopped visiting, and then like they like start visiting or care about them again. But sometimes they also like get disappointed that someone is not dead, which is terrible. But yeah, and that's kind of sort of so far. There's this investigation as who's making these phone calls, and then she's also, I think, seeing a ghost of like Helena's lover, and there's also this other dude there that's quite hot that's called Broman. I don't know if she's gonna get a thing with him. So yeah, there's many like different balls in the air, I think, in only 108 pages, and I wonder if we would get some sort of like closure or resolution for like the accident that killed her parents. What's gonna happen with her cousin, who is probably gonna like leave apparently next year and I'll forget about them, or if like she realizes that she maybe not want to work in this other home, or if she does and realizes that that is what fulfills her in life. Like, that is also pretty cool. So I don't know where we'll go, but yeah, it's only like 320 pages something, so I'll have about 200 left. But I feel like a lot of like the groundwork has been laid down in these first 100 pages. I don't know if I will upload like that all the way through, but there was like a natural break here because I went and got some popcorn, and then I wanted to upload a vlog because it was soon done. I also have some Pepsi in my little reindeer mug. That is actually Erica's. I stole it for now. And yeah, that's how the readathon is going so far. I'm enjoying myself. See you very soon. Okay, I just finished the book. I used so long. I mean, theory, read time was 2 hours and 19 minutes. But to be a 300-page book, I feel like I read for so long. Dang it. It was good. It was really good. The author kinda did the same plot twist as she did in Water for Flowers. Like, not as the exact same thing happened, but that she has this set up and be like, this is weird, and then it all connects together, and then reveals kind of happen, while at the same time we have several stories in one. So we have like 3 storylines, kind of, you know, the love story between like the older lady and telling about her life and the love of her life, and then also like the parents dying, and then also the caller in the hospital, and then our main character like figuring out her life as well. And dang, the story was beautiful. I'm getting goosebumps. I was really like so into, like, my eyes almost hurt because I was concentrating so hard. Not that I usually don't concentrate, but literally like so hard concentration. And it was honestly such a ride. Like, I was literally, when I finished the last page, I was like, oh my god, and it was very sweet. The plot twist was heartbreaking. Not even plot twist, but reveals of what was happening with different characters, how they all ended up. Like, all 3 of like the mysteries in the story, they all got to me, and they all had beautiful answers, but it reminded me a lot of her last book, of how that was set up, of how was everything out, like what, and it takes a while for you to piece it together, because here as well, I was just like, okay, I really needed an overview in my head of who was who, of how they were all connecting, but when it does, it's done so well, and when like the sad parts came out, I was like, oh my god, this is snapping. And honestly, such a good book. If you can, I know it is translated into English. I think it's just Those We Forget on Sundays or something. Literally what the books are a lot about as well. Like, that people forget to visit their grandparents or parents on Sundays. And it's honestly like, it did something, and now I really wonder about her other book 3 that I haven't read yet. I do have it though, and now I really want to read it. It's really thick, so it's gonna take me ages. If it has the kind of the same like set of storylines and like a kind of plot twist is the wrong word, but like plot reveal, I guess, of something that is set up, I really wonder if he uses the same thing 3 times. This was honestly, it snapped. It was good. It was a great perspective of love, like love and life, and the tragedies of life, but also the love of life, and like elderly care as well, and just like how we have so many stories inside of us, and if someone is willing to listen, it's so much out there. I love listening to people and their stories and their lives and how they live and how they grew up and how people meet and why they are together. I love stories like that, and often when I ask a lot of questions, people are like, gee, calm down, and I'm like, no, I want to know everything, because you kind of, you know, your life, you painting a picture of how you live, and then like no one ever knows the whole picture unless you tell them, you know, unless they were there living it with you. And that's also, you know, why I love reading. I love painting a picture of someone's life. They usually everything is on page, like you get to know their whole life. Obviously sometimes that can also be traps for like, oh my god, but I actually did this, and I love stuff like that. I love the puzzle of a life and puzzling together. Truly, like a book like this is like in the perfect taste for me. But dang, it was really good. I would give it a very strong 4 out of 5 stars. Honestly, felt like it was like 600 pages long, but it was put into 200 pages, which was kind of perfect. I didn't mean like it felt long, but more like it managed to put in so much story in so short amount of pages. Was kind of stunning for me. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm just sitting there like, wow, and I'm just supposed to jump to the next book. Like, how do I do that? I just want to read more in this, but I don't. Also, I'm glad it's done. Not like I want it to be over, but like, oh, okay, settling in that, very solid. And now I'm gonna read the next one. So this one was the newest book I acquired. which fits for the readathon and the bingo. And now the next one is a new release, which is also for the bingo and the readathon. The newest release I had was a 4th book in the series. I'm not going to read that because then I need to read the 3rd book and I don't bother doing that right now. But the newest release I had before that again was Dark Air by C.S. Pacat. This is the sequel to Dark Rise. I don't know, is it going to be a trilogy? I don't know. Is this the last book? I don't know. And I read this, when was the last book came out? It couldn't have been last year, 22. Was it 22? I actually don't remember. But this is the sequel to that. Oh, like, how to describe the story? It's like about Will, who comes to the city, and there's like dark forces after them. And then we have James, and they're like defenders that fights the darkness, and then like they all connect. I probably in theory should probably maybe have read the 1st book before reading the 2nd one. I can tell right now because I can't really describe it, but I feel like when I start this, it's all gonna come back to me. It's very dramatic, very gay. The 1st one really had some shocking stuff in it. I was like, what is this happening? What? Like, it was a really good time, and I'm hoping like that it will be even better this one, because there was some in the 1st one I was like, what? Like, I didn't love it. I give it like a really strong 4. There were some parts in the 1st one where I felt like could be developed more, so I'm hoping to see those developments in this one. Let's hope, let's hope. Okay, so I'm gonna start this now. I'm just gonna admire this. Where did I put the books I finished? I guess I would just put it on the floor, and then I will let you know what I think about Dark Air. The computer's turning off, being very noisy. It is a bit later now. I just finished Dark Air. I end this sprint because we're gonna watch Oppenheimer and I want to relax, even though I could definitely read another book. Like, I have time for it. I just don't want to. I don't feel like it. And that's okay. Like, you don't always have to push. I like pushing a lot. Not babies, just pushing myself into reading. But today I was just like, 2 books is fine. So I liked it. It was okay. I can see what the series is doing. It is basically about these stewards, or at least in the beginning, that trying to like stop the Dark One from returning, or the Dark King. And we have these characters, James and Will, who is trying to do this. And they name James and Will. And I think it's like, I don't know if it's Victorian time, but it's back in time in England. And then I just think about James and Will in Infernal Devices. But it's entertaining. I can definitely see what the author's doing with like dark and light. I like this relationship between the boys. I really enjoy it. I don't love the girl characters as much. I feel like they are a bit like not as well developed, because like the main people are Will and James. So every time we have like the girl point of views, I'm like, ugh, because like I kind of don't care about them as much. I guess I feel like they're not as developed. And even it is James and Will even for that, I really enjoyed them in book 1. But here I was just like, do I even care about these people? Do I couldn't find myself caring that much. I felt like the events fell flat for me, and I wasn't as engaged in story as I was in the 1st one. That might have to do with the fact that it's been a while since I read the 1st one, but I did remember a lot in this one, and I felt like to be such a long book, almost 500 pages, not a lot happened. There's definitely like some reveals, and the ending was exciting, and like there's important things set up for the 3rd book. But I don't think it was like, oh my god, super exciting as like the 1st one, where we had like really huge events happening, really huge reveals. This is very much like a bridge book, which is obviously what the 2nd book is supposed to do in the trilogy. But still, I was just like, okay. I felt like fine about a lot. I liked the ending a lot. The other book I read, which was 300 pages, more events was in that one, and more connections and reveals was in that one for 300 pages than this in 500 pages. And I don't know, that's just a lot. But it was still enjoyable. I love like the, not mimics, that's the wrong word, the mixing of what authors done with like light and darkness and good and evil. I always like those themes. We had the one bad trope, and I always love like someone rise to power kind of storyline in fantasy in general. So it was enjoyable for all those things, but still like not amazing. I think I would give it like a decent 3. Like I liked it, but I didn't love it. But still like an enjoyable series overall. Like I no hate on it. Just not like amazing, oh my god, best book ever, you know? But yeah, I was planning to start my next book tonight and finish it, but that's not gonna happen now. But I will show you what I was planning to read next. I just need to move my books around. So I'm planning to read Eragon, and this is the illustrated edition, only 250 pages. And this fits for like the readathon because, well, first of all, it's a new edition. So it's new. It's a new release. It came in November. And it also is on my 24 and 24 TBR. So it will be doing a new reading challenge for the year. So it fits all really, really well for the readathon. It's on my 2024 TBR. So yeah, I really, really want to read this. It's like, it's one I want to read in one sitting. It's so big, I can't really go around with it. Well, it is 250 pages. Like, obviously it is, I was gonna say like text because it's split up, but it's really heavy, really pretty, smells really good. I could definitely, as I said, have tried to finish this tonight, start and finish it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to push, as I said. So that will be my next read tomorrow. We'll give you an update when I finish that. I'm going to go, and I'm sleepy as well. But I had a good run, just adjusting my chair, taking my journal with me so I can write some. And you should see me tomorrow. Yay. 4 more great books. I think I'm going to read Eragon and 2 more books tomorrow, at least. And then we see what time it is. Yay! It has been like a billion hours and I finally finished Eragon book 1. Book 1. I mean the series is called Inheritance Cycle, so it's only Eragon. Either way, I thought it would take me no time at all, but it took me 3 hours and 28 minutes. I felt like it was so long for 256 pages, but like, even though it's illustrated, obviously it's like a lot of text and these pages just bigger. It was really fun to read the story again. I read it twice before, and it's many years ago now since I read it last time, and I'm very excited to like get hyped and into this world again after being ready for the 5th book that I don't want to read until I reread. It's really weird because it's such a stamp of fantasy with like, oh my god, you kind of just chose more like he's just chosen Last Dragon Rider, and how the world build is like he doesn't know anything, and then we have people telling me stories etc about the world to like world build, and it's a lot of info dumping. It's very like typical. We go on a quest, he doesn't know anything about the world, really naive, living on the countryside, and then learns about the world. There's obviously a lot of inspiration, you know, obviously from Lord of the Rings and Ursula Le Guin, and I'm gonna say Wheel of Time, that also was inspired by those as well. Like, you see we're like typical fantasy traits, but it's such a, I think, great introduction to fantasy. It's always the one I recommend if people are like, they want to read fantasy but they don't want to read, they feel intimidated because the books are huge. And I mean, it's intimidating if you're gonna recommend someone a fantasy for the first time. You wouldn't recommend a Wheel of Time because it's like 14 books and then it looks intimidating. I always recommend Eragon because it's such a good introduction. It has so many like typical, I really say, fantasy tropes, and it makes me very nostalgic for like the original, I was gonna say, fantasy that obviously has become so much more complex, and I would say not necessarily better is maybe the right and the wrong word, because I love seeing a genre evolve. I love seeing new things in the genre, and obviously if it was all like Eragon, I don't think people would enjoy the genre as much, because like obviously you were reading the same thing over and over, but it has so many elements of my like favorite fantasies, and I don't know honestly if I would love it as much if I read it now for the first time, because I feel like I would find it a bit more bold and complex fantasy that do exist today. But I feel like since I read it before, it just brings me back to Aldelisha, whatever we call the name, with like the language, the elves, the dwarves, the dragons, the like even as we have. And I remember distinctly a lot of the reveals and stuff that are developed and discovered later in the series, because I have finished the series once. I read Eragon 3 times and the rest only once, so I'm very curious to see how we feel about those things now, and I feel like I would really enjoy them. I love the story overall, and I love Eragon as our main character, very naive, stupid, but learning from his mistakes and growing as this hero that people want him to be. And again just like a sample great fantasy with yes, as I said, tropes, but it still makes for a massive and grand and fun story. And yeah, it was a good time. I'm very happy that I finally finished. Now there's only 30 seconds left of this sprint, so I will let you know in a moment of what I'm reading next. So see you soon. We're in the next sprint, and I forgot to say one thing about Eragon is that It also had like a very abrupt ending, and then we were kind of over, and I was like, oh, which was really fun after using so long traveling. I love a traveling fantasy though, so there's that. Either way, the next book I decided to read is a manga because now I've read 3 books. Finally. Oh my god, we're on the second day and only read 3 books and it's been so many hours and I'm like, why am I so slow? Either way, the next one I'm gonna read is Tokyo Revengers by Kan Wakui. This is a new manga series, and the whole, theme is fuck 2023, will you leave me behind, starting new things. And I'm obviously skipping this ahead in my manga line. I have many other mangas before, but I'm skipping ahead to start a new one. And also I wanted to read this one specifically because it's 2 volumes in one, so I felt like that was more fitting for Readathon than like reading a single volume. The complete new series, we travel in time, I don't know anything. It's also a new author. I don't think I read from this author before, so it all fits for the new year, new me theme. Very, very excited to read it. It seems really fun. So I'll let you know what I think. Before I'm actually starting it, I'm gonna get some food because I'm very hungry. So let's hope I read faster after replenishing my energy stores. Getting some food earlier was a blessing, and now I finished Tokyo Revengers. So it was a main character who was just living a quiet, chill life, and then he almost dies, and then travels back in time in 12 years. And then he's trying to stop someone he knows from dying, or maybe actually several people he knows from dying in the future. And then he can travel back and forth in a funny way that, yeah, I think you should figure out yourself if you read it. And then it's a lot about like gang, I was gonna say culture and like environment, because like there's different gangs and that's the reason why people die, but we don't know the specific details. And then he's just trying to stop people basically from dying and like seeing them in the future as well. I really enjoyed it. It had some like twists there where I was like, oh my god, and I actually felt a lot for a main character, and just the idea of traveling in time, I actually think about a lot myself, and I always love ideas and stories with it. I got actually a bit confused with the characters because he had some friends that was kind of in a gang, and he has another gang that's joining, and there's another gang, and then we also see in the future, and I got confused with who was who, honestly, a bit, because it didn't look like each other in the future and in the past that much, but obviously people changed. But like also because it's not in color, obviously because it's manga, I got confused with like, who are you again? Then like after a while it like clicked a bit, but that was like one part that confused me. And also like I just don't remember names, so it was just like confusing because of that. But it was still really good. I'm very excited to get the next one. I already checked like if I can buy it, and it like seems to be sold out right now. And I'm like, excuse you, what do you mean? I need it. But I'm excited to continue. It was fun to read like 2 volumes in one. It's a good decision, good choice for the readathon. Now, for my next one, I thought that I would complete a challenge, because like the whole thing is to, look at 2024, and a challenge I'm doing in 2024 is the buzzword challenge. And I haven't put a buzzword book on my TBR. The buzzword word or words for January is they, their, them. I want to double check this actually. Give me a second. It's there, or there, or they are, maybe it's better to say. And I found, and then There Were None by Agatha Christie, which I haven't read, and I bought it last year because I always want to read it. Obviously one of the most famous books by the author, one of the most best-selling books of all time worldwide. I have like seen the end of an adaptation once on TV that my parents were watching. I don't remember who that character was, but it would be interesting to see if I can get anything from the book. I think that it is like they all put it on an island, and then there's going to be like one winner. So it's like a death game version. Was it like an actual mystery? Is it like an actual like death game? I do not know. It's not that long. I feel like there's many characters and I'm going to confuse them. That's honestly what I feel like. But hopefully I will like it because it's so famous, and I wonder if it will be good. It was like one of the few books on the TBR that had those words in the titles. I thought, well, I should read this now, so like I actually completed buzzword this month, because I have so many other things I need to read. But the reason I haven't picked it up for this readathon and just read other things like an idiot is because therefore a lot of them are for vlogs, and I don't like reading for vlogs if I'm already doing another vlog. It's like that thing in me, like I just don't like it. Ooh, the timer was still going, oops. So yeah, but I'm gonna read There Were None now, and then see if I will read more afterwards. I'll let you know. Okay, so I very quickly finished There Were None. There was a lot of dialogue, and it's basically, as I said, about these 2 people coming to this island, and it might be a trap. It might be a deadly trap for them. It reminded me a lot of like Nice Out 2. I don't know, remember what it's called, Glass, whatever. Which obviously, I don't know, I guess that is more inspired by this than anything else. Like the concept of people being in an isolated location and then they die one by one. I don't know if Agatha Christie obviously was the first one to do this. Obviously, there's may have probably been others. I don't know enough about this genre. But she's well known to be most well-known authors to do this. And it's a fun concept. I just kind of didn't care about the characters. And like the writing, you know, of course Agatha is a mastermind. I just felt really flat. I didn't like care or anything that was happening. It was funny to see it unfold. But for me, it just felt a bit flat. I was just like, okay, it was interesting. It's fun to say I read it. But it's not like a new favorite or like the best book I ever read. But I can definitely see a master crafter in his work. But for me, it didn't like hold up to like, oh my god, a new favorite. So I give it like a really strong 3 out of 5 stars. Like I liked it. I'm glad I read it. It was a fast read. Now, I was debating ending like this vlog and like the readathon here. It is soon 9. But I want to read one more book before the readathon ends. I have 3 hours. And I don't think, hopefully, I need more than that. And I'm going to read one final book, which is Bookshops and Bondage by Bookshops and Bondage. It was not planned at all. It was mostly because Sarah kept screaming at me to read it. And it fits really well for the readathon. It is a new release, which was kind of like one of the prompts. It is a book I'm very hyped for. It's a book that's on my January TBR, and like a whole like thing for the readathon is like new stuff, new TBRs for this year. As it's on my January TBR, it's a new TBR for 2024. It's looking in this year, so it fits for the prompts. I love Legends and Lattes. It is one of my favorite books. I was gonna say ever. This is 250 pages, but I feel like it's not gonna be like lots of brain cells. Like it's gonna be chill and fun, which is what I'm hoping for. So I feel like I can read it tonight, hopefully, because I was really slow in some of these others. Look how cute it is under the dust jacket. I love the book. So yeah, I'm gonna start this now, and then I will let you know when I finish it, which will be my last book for this readathon, which means I end on 6 books, which is great. Yay! We have now ended our last sprint. It is around 22:35. We were live for like almost 10 hours. I was lying 9.5 hours, I think. Wow. Either way, I finished Bookshops and Bondage. I liked it. I didn't love it as much as Legend and Latte. Sorry, I always feel like I have something in my eye. It's very annoying. It was cute. I really like them setting up a business like we really know, and I like them using the ideas that we obviously use in our stores in real life. Like they did with Legend and Lattes to make a cafe. Then did it for the bookshop. The other kind of plot things I didn't really care as much for. I didn't find myself connected as much to this story because we built something from the ground in Legend and Lattes, where here we were helping someone out. While I enjoyed the characters, I enjoyed the world, I enjoyed the writing, it wasn't like as attached to this as Legend and Lattes. But it's still enjoyable. I give it a 4. I feel like I would reread this. I would reread Legend and Lattes together. I feel like I would have a good time. But it's not like reaching the fame heights that Legend and Lattes did. And I'm not saying that this is bad, by the way. I'm saying it's a well-written story that is very chill and cute and cozy. I feel like they had really good moments. It was just some parts I was like, I don't really care about this at all. So there's that. But yeah, that was my 6th book for the readathon. I'm going to wrap up this properly tomorrow because I'm going to try to actually edit it tomorrow, which never happens with these vlogs. So you should be impressed if I actually do. And then you should see me then. See you later. You should be impressed with me because I just edited the whole vlog and I'm gonna upload it. I think I'm gonna post it tomorrow, but I did it. And I was gonna show like all the books I read for the vlog and the whole pile, but then it was so heavy because of Eragon, so I didn't bother. I was in a car accident today. I'm fine, but like it was scary, and now I'm a bit traumatized. So I'm not gonna lift that. I'm gonna end this vlog. I had a really great time. I read more than I was planning, which is always great. My favorite ended up being either Eragon or probably Forgotten on the Sunday, which is really weird for me to say considering how much other fantasy books I read. But Tokyo Revenger was also great. I mean, the other books, all were fine. No one was terrible. I had a good time. I had a really great time with my patrons. And it was a great little readathon. I honestly, they are a bit exhausting because I read like the whole day, but they're so cozy to look back on and like so fun to like manage to read so many books in one go. Like it's the best time. I had a great time. I hope you enjoyed this little reading vlog. It wasn't that exciting. Like not a lot happened, but I talk a lot about books and you can see me read. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a I want to say like the not good emoji because of the name of the readathon, like for 2023, but I feel like I can't have that in my title. So maybe the wave. We're saying goodbye to 2023. So we're doing the wave hand down below. And you should see me hopefully very soon in a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye! Ow, I just hit myself. Great.